that was another issue that was addressed here, and I think there may be some options there as well that we probably need to discuss on campus. I know Marsh Rec Center would hold 300, so.
Yeah, actually we were talking about the rec center too, but we have few problems regarding the rec center where we couldn't, like, we'll be performing we have few performances in our particular event, and we don't have proper stage and the DJ, the sound systems and all, in order to make the event a hit. So it's like that is the problem where in the rec center. Okay.
Connie.
I think it's possible that we could work with our rec center and provide staging or sound system or whatever might be a need.
Yeah, I think you would agree with recreation. We put on multiple events up to 900 plus people. We can work with physical plant, getting a stage in. We have a sound system in the building, so we were unaware of that you were having this event here. So if you want to talk to us about doing it in the future, we're more than happy to help.
Great. Who should our students, is there a central point person that students could go to work issues like this out?
Well, if you want to start with me, that's fine, and we'll set up a meeting with all the involved parties.
That'd be great. Thank you, Wendy.
Is there any way that we can involve, because I've been trying to spread the word among all the international groups to let them all know, because this may not be an issue with all of our international groups, but it probably will be at some point in time. So I've talked to the Thai Student Association, Chinese Student Association, Caribbean, and the Indian Student Association to kind of let them know, and there's also African and Taiwanese as well, so that somehow they can all get together, maybe not together, but individually with whoever they need to try to work through their different events and what they need and what they're able to do and not do.
I can say something as well. That's something that we can definitely address within all of our student orgs, of figuring out who we could go to with programming, resources that they would need to utilize, and hopefully get the best resources and the information that they possibly can to put on the event from start to finish. And that's something that I, myself, Wendy, as well as Laurel, our graduate student, can work through these individual organizations and kind of let them know, whether it's offering workshops or one-on-one conversations with those individuals to better effectively put on a program.
Thank you,
So yeah, the Student Activities and Leadership Office, you could just send them to us, and that's where student organizations are housed, and we'll
That's what I'll do. Because I didn't know exactly who they needed to go talk to try to work through some of the issues. So, okay.
Yeah, for those of you, this is Wendy Morgan, and she's the director of the Student Center and supervises student campus activities and many other functions. But I think you're an excellent choice, Wendy, and thank you for volunteering to do that. Yes?
This is a quick question. As a student, am I eligible to see the policy between Sodexo and this building? What's the policy in between Sodexo and this building? Does this comes under any act or something like that?
Just real briefly, there's probably not something that I can put in your hands that would say, here's the policy. But when the university negotiates the contract, it's stipulated in the contract, and you heard it mentioned, for instance, that Sodexo has primary responsibility for this facility, and then there are a couple other places on campus as well, and that's dictated in our contract. And then being able to go to other facilities, that's dictated as well in the contract. So if you have specific questions, I'd be glad to field those, or Dennis Cook, who's talked a couple of times. And the reason Dennis keeps standing up, he's actually the liaison between the university and Sodexo, and the one that manages the contract. So if you have questions specific to that, we'd be glad to field any of those questions. The other thing I think that's not coming up right now in our discussion, there's also a legal issue in terms of food preparation. So if you want to bring food in from the outside and you're in a different location on campus and you're buying that from a vendor, so a restaurant or something off campus, that's going to be handled very differently than if you say, we want to prepare our own food and bring that in. And the reason for that is Sodexo then becomes liable for the food that you prepare or any of us prepare and that we bring to campus. And they're very hesitant to take on the responsibility of me preparing something at home and then bringing it in and feeding people, and then if they get sick, Sodexo, right or wrong, they maintain some of the liability for what I did. So that's why they're very hesitant when it's home-prepared food versus going out to an outside vendor. And I want everybody to understand that. That's not necessarily contract, that's law, that's civil law. They've been held responsible enough for those kind of things that they know they need to protect against that.
I have the second question. I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's like in the meal plan, all the new students who are coming into the campus have been like coming towards me and saying this. That's the reason I'm putting forward to y'all. It's that back in India, we are used to eating rice almost 3 times a day. And since the new students who are coming on to into the campus, they are like facing problems in eating the food which the Sodexo is offering. It's like they are able to eat only the fruits which they offer. Like, 1 or 2 times like daily they can go ahead with the bread and, the stuff like chicken and or something like that.
Yeah.
But they are unable to go through it almost daily. Then they are facing very big problem. It's like they are expecting any of the rice made food like a fried rice or something like that, which they can eat at least 1 time in a day, like, so that
One of our focus that we really had this year was on bringing international students into the cafeteria, and we would absolutely love to have that feedback. We can have a separate meeting just with international students or representatives and with Charles Lear. He's the director of dining services. He's very open to, and Tim Willett, Dennis Cook, we've been working very hard to try and begin creating ways that we can have international students. So anywhere we're falling short, please don't hesitate. We're not going to see that as a negative thing if you come to us and say we're falling short. As a matter of fact, a year from now, beginning in the fall, we would love to have it that we have all of our international students eating in the cafeteria and that we're meeting your needs. So while I would say we're much improved this year, I wouldn't begin to say we're as far as we need to be. So we'd be glad to have a separate meeting with you, set up a meeting with Charles Lair, set up a meeting with representatives from the international community or your organization. Just let us know and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you so much, sir. I know that you're trying hard, but thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. Yes?
I'd like to thank you, the Student Forum, that last time when I attended, we raised the issue about pedestrian crossing across the roads, and you here heard it, and thanks for talking to the commerce people about that, and thank you for listening to us.
More questions?
Will there be another forum before the end of the semester? This is the last one.
This is our last one for the semester, and then we'll have one each month next semester as well.
But if there are concerns, and we share this with students, we have several opportunities. There's the week here, a link where they can go and express concerns. There's the student concerns link off of Robert Dockson's page. There's Robert. We want to hear from students, and that includes students off campus or taking classes online. If there are issues we need to address, we need to know about them.
Thanks.
There are no further questions, issues. We'd like to thank you for coming today. Thank our staff. Dennis, did you?
I just want to make a quick announcement for folks. The Resident Hall Student Association, get my teeth back in there, holds a monthly town hall forum for students who live in the residence hall. And this month, their meeting is on November 30th from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Visions Room, which is over on the other side of the hallway over here. So if any students who live in the residence hall, or you know of any that have concerns and need questions answered or have compliments, we take those too at that meeting. November 30th from 4 to 5 in Visions.
Thank you, Dennis. The staff, any other announcements you'd like to make? Or Eric?
I just just have one more thing. The thing is, like, I'm a freshman, so I have to have the unlimited meal plan, which means I can go to the caf, 60 times in one day if I want to. But the thing is I can't swipe for my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't sure why, because I have all these extra meals that I'm not using, and a friend of mine lost his card for like 3 days, like 2 weeks ago, and I tried to see if I could just swipe for him, and they gave me some really long, drawn-out answer, and I was like, okay, that still doesn't make sense. I just wasn't sure if there was some short, specific reason why someone who's got no boundary on their meals, why they can't help a buddy out once or twice.
Mm-hmm. You want to take that, Brian, or Dennis? Will they?
I think if you think about what you're asking, and I'm going to use an extreme example to make the point, we could buy one meal plan and we could swipe everyone on campus through. And that's really the reason, is that although it's unlimited for you as an individual user, people probably could end up one person buying a meal plan and several people using that plan. But given your specific example in terms of having a friend who lost their meal card, that person actually shouldn't have to wait 3 days. That's something that we can actually on the spot take care of and get them in, or we can have them go just down the hall and receive another ID. So a person shouldn't go 3 days because they've lost their ID card waiting for meals. And if they don't know what to do, pretty much any staff member that you see is going to be able to direct them. So if you ask someone in the student center, a staff member, they're going to be able to help. If you go down to the ID center, or if you ask anyone in the cafeteria, they should be able to help as well. So if that didn't happen, certainly let us know that we need to train someone if someone was asked and they didn't give someone that information. So I hope that was a little shorter answer than what you had before.
Well, it was over the weekend, so they couldn't exactly go to the main card office, and I just figured it was just one time, and the dude was just like, sorry. So
Dining services should have known that they should have been able to let that student in, so I'll apologize for them. That student should have been able to get in, and that's something we can take care of on Monday.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Any more questions? All right. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for attending. And please, knowing that our next forum isn't until February, I believe, since we start in January, if you do have questions, please feel free to give Dr. Hendricks a call or to give me a call or any of the rest of the staff that's in the room, and we'll see what we can do to take care of you.